Welcome to Cheers. I'm your host, Avery Woods. Hi guys, welcome back to the Cheers podcast. I am your host, Avery Woods, and today I got my coat Cody here.
Yay.
If you guys don't know who my Cody is, this is Ashley Adkins, who's my closest and longest friend. Really, you are.
Yeah.
Because, I don't talk to anyone as long as I've ever talked to you.
I know.
So I wanted her on the podcast because, first of all, I think it's so fun to talk about how we met. You guys can learn more about Ash, our family. We really have like a blended family. We've raised our kids together since they were born. And also her career, because she is an adult ICU nurse. So let's cheers.
Oh.
I got my Blue Lagoon here, and Cody has her broken straw.
My Target water that you got me.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Cody.
All right, so, oh yeah, ASMR.
Wait, yeah, that's my favorite part of the episode.
You want to do it? Okay, do it. Wow, that was actually a really good one. Yeah.
That's my favorite part, how you start your episode.
Oh, you like it?
I love the
you're
ASMR
so cute.
part. Yeah.
She's the most supportive friend ever because she listens to everything I do. And that picture you sent me of Jesse was...
Which one?
Oh, yeah, for real. He was sitting on the couch on YouTube watching the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Because, our husbands are just not into stuff like this.
No, they're not.
And so the fact that he was watching it, I just wanted to die. It was so cute.
Yeah.
Because he's my brother.
Yeah.
And so it was just the best.
Yeah, he loves it.
Okay, so, oops, I'm kicking the table. For those that don't know who you are, give a little self-introduction.
So, I'm Ashley.
AKA Coat Cody.
Coat Cody. Yeah, we call each other cooties. How did we even start? I think Jesse
and Jesse would talk to each other like that.
Yeah, and then you guys started kind of copying
And then
us.
we kind of just started calling you guys that. And then Jesse started calling me that. And then David started calling you that. And then David's just Chris.
No, we call him Quiz.
Quiz, CWIS.
Yeah. I know. If people in public, they're probably like, what? Why are they calling them those names?
It's because David's middle name's Christopher, and I think Ash just was like,
Quiz.
Hey, Quiz. And then it started pissing him off, so we just kept it to keep bothering him.
Anything that pisses him off.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm Ashley. I'm turning 30 in a couple days.
Yeah,
That's a big
her birthday's coming up.
And yeah, I've been born and raised in Arizona. I've been married to my husband for 10 years next month, which is also really crazy.
Yeah.
Got 2 kids, same age as Avery's kids. And then I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse this would be my 9th year of being a nurse.
That's crazy.
I'm like getting old and crusty.
You're not old and crusty. Yeah, please look at her, and she's turning 30, and she looks fucking 12 years old.
Yeah.
Thank you. She has no idea what's happening for her birthday. But I told her it's the best present I've ever gotten anyone before. Scott can attest to that.
I know I'm excited, but I like surprises, so I don't want to know anything.
Yeah, no. And we were just talking about this before we started filming, but Ash is the hardest working person, but she will never spend any money on herself. So when holidays come up, I'm the most excited to shop for her. I don't even, like my kids, whatever. She is so fun to shop for because she opens everything and she's like a kid. She's like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then she'll make whatever I get her. Like if it's skincare makeup, she'll make it last like 7 years.
No, I literally do. I
love it about you though.
Yeah, well, I swear every time someone asks me like, where'd you get that shirt? Or where did you get that bag? Or lip gloss? And I'm like, Avery got it for me.
See, that's my
I don't
favorite,
buy any
though.
of my own stuff.
But I love it because every time I clean out my closet, like even the other day, I was like, do you need scrubs? She's like, no. But like if I clean out my closet or like my PR drawer, if I don't give it to her, I give it to like her mother-in-law, her mom, the whole family.
Everyone has benefited.
Yeah, no, but I love it. Because I think the reason we're so close is we have so many similarities, but we're also so opposite that I feel like we balance each other out really well.
Yeah, it's like being married to your
it's
best
literally
friend,
like we're married.
Yeah.
Which is why it's funny because we always say Jesse and I have the same, her husband's name is Jesse, by the way, for those that don't know.
Yeah.
We have like the same personality, and then Ash and David have the same personality.
Yeah.
So, which is why we could never be married to each other's spouses.
Oh my gosh.
Because if I was married to Jesse, that would be it for me. No, I think I would just die of the amount of adrenaline that would be occurring in our lives that I couldn't handle it.
We always say, like, okay, obviously this would never happen, but like you and Jesse would literally kill each other the first day. Like you'd be divorced. like kicked out.
What's
like,
that TLC show,
broken.
Wife Swap? That one show that used to be on
gosh.
TLC. Yeah, if that happened, we would, yeah.
And David and I would literally have a clean house. We'd be sitting on the couch bored and be like, you want to go anywhere? No. All right, good night.
Also, Jussie and I would be so in debt, and Ashley and David would be multimillionaires because they wouldn't spend a fucking dime on anything.
We'd be very bored, but we'd be rich and our house would be clean.
Right? Hey, that's all that matters. Oh my God. Okay, so you were born and raised in Arizona. Yes. And tell me about your childhood before we talk about how we met.
I had a great childhood. Honestly, I have nothing really to like, when people have major things that stick out. I'm the oldest of 4, so I have 3 younger brothers. One of my brothers has autism, so that was always really special growing up. Still is.
Shout out Austin. We love you.
Yes, we love Austin. Austin's the best. But yeah, I mean, I was the oldest. I was the only girl. I had 3 younger brothers, so I was basically in charge.
And your guys' age gaps are insane.
Yeah.
Aren't they like
7 years between me and the 4th one,
which is
less than 7
crazy.
years. Yeah.
Shout out Sita.
Yeah, Sita.
Sita is Becky, who's Ash's mom, but we call her Sita because that's what the kids call her.
Yep.
And she worked full time, right? The whole time.
Yeah. My parents both worked full time growing up, and I always felt like, now that I'm my own parent, I look back and I'm like, how'd you guys like work full time?
Yeah.
And do all the things? Like,
and had a special needs child.
Special needs child. We were all in sports, music. Whenever I said, hey, can I do this camp? Or hey, can I do this? They always said yes. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I got to do, this sounds spoiled when it is, but I got to do whatever I wanted. They fulfilled that for me. And I feel like that got me a really great start on life and just having the opportunities and stuff. So I feel thankful for that. But I mean, right when I turned 18, I knew I wanted to be a nurse. So I went right into nursing school. I met my husband, Jesse.
Well, you're skipping a big part here.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
She's forgetting about, because she won't boast about herself. I will boast about her. She not only had 4, there was 4 of them total, and her parents worked full time. Ashley's the smartest person I know. She got a full ride scholarship to ASU for nursing school. She graduated nursing school with a fucking 4.0. If you have ever been in nursing school or you know about nursing school, then you know how fucking hard that is. Like, that's a 93% and higher on every single class for a 4-year college degree. That's nuts. So she also would teach piano, right?
Yeah, I taught piano.
So she worked in high school. Yeah. She did extracurricular activities. She got a full ride scholarship to college. And she had 3 younger brothers, and her brothers are also extremely intelligent. She has one in the Navy, one just graduated from Boise State, right?
Yeah.
Full ride scholarship that he got. Like, your parents did such a good job.
Yeah, they really did. I feel very thankful for that because I went into nursing school and did that in 3 years. I have my master's in nursing now, but that was years after I graduated nursing school. But yeah, I mean, I met Jesse when I was 18. Mm-hmm. He was 19. We went to the same high school together, but he was a year older, already in the military. And we were like your stereotypical military couple. Like, we did a lot of long distance. We got married super young. Mm-hmm. We just wanted to be together. So
here you are.
I know, 10 years. 10 years in March, which is crazy.
And that's like, you just know. And I mean, we both had the same experience where we got engaged really young and people had their opinions about it.
Oh yeah.
But we just knew. Mm-hmm. And obviously, it's worked out for us. But yeah, Jesse was in the Navy for 6 years.
6 years. Yep.
And now he's a police officer.
Yep.
And I remember, so how we met in high school, technically.
Yes.
Because you're a year older than me. Mm-hmm. So we had like kind of met in passing, went to the same high school. So I actually met Jesse prior to Ashley. We went to junior high together. And then my mom was his youngest brother's first grade teacher. Mm-hmm. So we had like kind of always known each other's families or each other in a way. But my high school boyfriend enlisted in the military. Yeah. And so you and I started messaging back and forth on Facebook a lot.
Yeah, like military.
About military stuff. Yeah. And you were like, I remember you planning your wedding and like sharing things you were making for it. Because she was always a big DIY bitch.
Yeah, I still am.
She would fucking knit these headbands and she would do family photos of her and Jesse and their dogs. Literally killed me inside. But like, that was a trendy thing, was like those thick, chunky headbands.
I was on trend with those.
You were. Those were the shit. So we would kind of DM back and forth. And then when I got into nursing school, that's when I think it was like your senior year, or you just graduated.
Yeah.
Because I finished nursing school in 2017.
Yeah, I finished nursing school in 2015.
Okay, yeah. So you probably just graduated, and I
Yeah.
was like in my first or second semester of nursing school. Because I remember you would like ask me how it was going, and
Yeah.
like I was obsessed with your YouTube videos. That's how you started social media.
Yeah.
Was this bitch would, and those things popped off, by the way.
They did.
She would like as a nursing student do like show nursing students head to toe assessments. You even did like an interview once when you were first interviewing.
That's how I started my social media, was in nursing school. And I was doing, if you go way back, it's funny. Now
No,
I'm like
it's
so young,
not.
but
She actually, because when you had reposted one not too long ago, I was like, I remember vividly where I was watching that.
yeah.
And I remember thinking in my head, gosh, she's got some balls, because I would never be brave enough to do this. I was like, I can barely do this in a checkoff, let alone on fucking YouTube.
I know. Well,
What made you want to start doing that?
the YouTube stuff?
Yeah.
So it's funny. This is a funny story, but and I know we've talked about this, but in spring break, in my last year of nursing school, so I was in my third semester. It was spring break, and I was like, I have a week off. I am bored as fuck. Like, I am so used to like working and doing like, nursing school stuff, clinicals, all that. So having a week off, I was like, what do I do with my life?
Yeah.
I am going to start a YouTube channel.
Why wouldn't you? I mean, anyone else would think that way.
And for a long time, I was doing daily videos back when like daily videos was a big thing. Yeah.
The fact that you got a 4.0 while doing that in nursing school. And also going back and forth to where Jesse was in Washington.
Yeah.
And then back to Arizona.
Yeah, I travel a lot to see him because since we got married in 2014, I was still in nursing school. We did long distance even while we were married. So when he would be stateside, I'd go visit him and then come back, do my semester. So, because we knew like a lot of people that get married super young kind of fall into this stereotypical category of like that maybe they don't finish their degrees or they don't have a great job, and then they have kids, and then you're kind of stuck in the military life. And we knew we don't want to be stuck in this unless that's what we want. So like going to nursing school and finishing we knew even getting married that like I wasn't going to stop that.
Yeah, for
I was
sure.
going to finish that.
Yeah.
So.
And your YouTube took off pretty quick.
Yeah, so I was doing like tons of different videos. I was doing like how I curl my hair, how I do like back when like you would review little makeup things. I mean, people still do that, but it was just so different back then. There was like long videos. They'd be like 14 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I had one video, how to survive nursing school, that did better than the others. And someone told me, they're like, well, you should just focus on nursing videos. And I was kind of offended because I was like,
are you saying I don't know how to curl my hair?
I can do so many things. I'm going to share about everything I can do, not just about nursing school. But they ended up being right. And so I started doing more nursing ones, and those were doing better. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to kind of focus on nursing. And so I started on YouTube, and then obviously social media has changed, and there's Instagram, then there was TikTok and all these things. I had to kind of just, navigate it as time comes. But it's always been fun just to share. I love nursing. Like, I love being a nurse. And so to share that with other people and know that I'm impacting them and their careers, and then in turn they can help people. It's like my reach gets bigger because I'm helping people who are helping people.
Yeah. And I filmed a Get Ready With Me this morning, and I was talking about how when I first started on Instagram and I was sharing life in like my nursing school journey, I liked it because it focused on the positives, and everyone that I saw online or like shadowed in clinicals were like, are you sure you want to do this career? So-and-so happens, and talk about how shitty it was. And I was like, why can't we talk about the positives? And you always talked about like how you still loved nursing and how, you wouldn't want another career, and you were shining positive light, which I think is rare to find even now, especially after the pandemic.
Yeah.
What was your first nursing job?
I worked in Washington because that's where Jesse was stationed at the time. So I literally graduated nursing school at Arizona State University. So I was in Arizona. The day after I graduated, I left, road tripped up to Washington.
You're like, peace fuckers.
Yeah, no, literally. I was almost like, my husband's up there. We've been waiting this whole time to like live together. It's like we were finally starting our lives.
Yeah.
So I literally drove up there the next day, not to Washington. It took us 2 days to get there. I didn't drive like 26 hours
like,
straight.
Bye.
Yeah, bye. To drive 26 hours. So got up there, and I had to apply for my license in Washington because it wasn't a compact state with Arizona. So I had to actually take my NCLEX up in Washington for Washington State nursing license. And I got my approval to test like quicker than the people in Arizona. For whatever reason, the Washington State Board of Nursing was like a little bit quicker. And so I got my approval to test like 6 or 7 days after I finished nursing school.
Oh my God.
And I scheduled my test the soonest I could, which was like 2 or 3 days after that. So I took my NCLEX like 10 days after I graduated nursing school. Because I was like, I just spent all this time like learning about this stuff. So it's going to take the test when it's fresh in my head.
Yeah.
And I had to drive, I remember, 2.5 hours to the test site because it was like super far away. We lived in a rural area. Took my test. It took me like 45 minutes. I was like, so that was my whole like nursing career is determined by this one like short test. Yeah. And I left, drove 2.5 hours back home, and I ended up obviously passing because here I am.
Wow.
But so I worked up in Washington my first year on like a medical surgical / telemetry floor for adults. Very small hospital, very rural. I'm glad I started there because I think if I went from where I work now to a rural hospital, I would have been like, what is going on here?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Where's all your resources?
Yeah, seriously.
And I just didn't know any better because that's where I started off. And so within like 6 months, I was cross-trained to work in the ER, to work in the ICU. And their hospital is just much smaller, less acuity because, you know, they just didn't have many specialties there. Everyone would get shipped out if you needed anything specialized. So I was thankful to start there because it made me be resourceful. And then now I'm working after that year. I moved back to Arizona because Jesse was going to be getting out of the military. So moved back here and started working in the ICU. And I've been there ever since. I love the ICU. I didn't know if I wanted ICU or ER when I first did that first year on med-surg. And so I applied to both and ended up getting an interview in the ICU. And so I was like, well, I kind of want to do ER, but I guess I'll just interview for this ICU position.
I could not imagine you an ER nurse.
Oh my gosh.
Not one lick.
Oh my gosh, I would be dying down there. I'd be like, wait, why are my lines not labeled?
Your mind is like way too OCD.
Oh, I'm so type A. ICU is perfect for me. So interviewed there. They offered me the job. So I was like, well, ER didn't like give me an interview or anything. So I'm like, I might as well take this position. And if I like it, great. If I don't, I'll just be there for a year and then go to the ER and I can try different things. That's a beautiful thing of nursing. You can do
anything,
literally whatever you want. There's a job
for you. When Jesse, I actually don't know if I knew this, when Jesse got out of the Navy and you guys moved to Arizona, because I knew you guys bought your house, which their first house was so cute.
It was.
What was Jesse doing?
So when he initially got out of the military, he had about a year and a half-ish before he went in to do police. And so he was going to school full-time at ASU. And then he worked as actually in a different city than where he's working now as like a police aide.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so he did that in hopes with getting on with that department. But that's kind of when we started talking more. I mean, we were talking about talking more because Jesse was trying to get into policing and David was already doing it. And then you were doing the nursing. I was doing the nursing. So we were kind of like living the same lives, which is really where our whole like story kind of starts.
So we lived in San Diego at this time because I think David's grandpa was still alive.
Yeah.
He was still alive. It was like the last part of his life.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he very much was. Yeah, he was definitely still alive.
Well, wait, was he? Because Jesse's always said, I wish I could have met him. Oh, no, we didn't stay at your house the first time.
You didn't stay. You were at an Airbnb.
The first time when we came to see you guys, we stayed somewhere else.
Yes.
And then, okay.
Yeah, so we had still been talking back and forth, and you had said, like, hey, we're coming to stay in San Diego for like a little vacation. We're taking our dogs. We're staying in an Airbnb. Let's meet up. And we're like, yeah, for sure. So we met up, got lunch at that cute little restaurant.
You have to tell the story
of
when we showed up.
Okay,
this is like set the tone for our entire relationship.
Okay,
really,
so
truly.
I obviously knew Jesse and Ashley, but David had not met them yet. But he obviously knew about them. So we're all like finally meeting for the first time. This is like in 2017. Yeah, 2017.
Yeah, it had to have been, yep.
And they show up. You can take it over from here.
Yeah, so we show up and like we haven't all kind of met as a group before. Yeah. So it's like the first time we're all kind of meeting as a group and introducing Jesse and David. And so I show up and because Jesse was like so hungover from the night before. We had like drank a bunch of wine like at our Airbnb. And so he's like, I'm gonna go throw up really quick. And I was like, what? Why do I want to make them wait? So like he goes to throw up and I come to like meet you guys. And then Jesse like strolls in a couple
He
minutes
looks
later and he's
fucked up.
and he's like all like just like hungover. And
Yeah.
that's how he's like, I'm so sorry guys. I just literally puked like behind
Yeah,
the dumpster in the
yeah.
parking lot. And
We're
I was
like, it's all good.
yeah, yeah. And I was like, oh gosh, they're gonna think we're like so weird or
Yeah.
something. But
I still have the photo I took of us while we were waiting for you guys, and I have bleach
Yep.
blonde hair with that hat.
and, yeah, and David's wearing a hat too.
David
You guys
has a
both
hat
had hats
on. Yeah, I don't know if we thought we were fucking going to like a runway show or something.
No, literally, I thought that was so
God.
cool. It's like, oh, they match like kind of like together. That's
Yeah.
cute. Jesse would never. Can you imagine? I was like, can you wear this matching hat?
Yeah,
Like,
he'd be like,
no.
no.
Fuck no.
Yeah, no.
Not matching you ever.
So that's like how it went from like friends to like family basically, because then after David's grandpa passed, obviously Jesse and David really hit it off because Jesse really wanted to be a cop, so David was kind of helping give advice and things like that. And then you were a nurse. I just finished nursing school. So then you guys started making trips out all the time.
Yes,
to
we play
come
Monopoly
see us. Yeah. Oh yeah.
for
Like before we had the
hours.
kids, we would literally stay up till like 3 a.m.
Yeah, we got
Play
the digital Monopoly.
Oh, yeah,
and
we
we were
fucked
like,
that
we
shit
could
up.
play a game in 45 minutes. We're playing like 10 games.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
And I miss that. Like, but
Me
for
too.
us, like once our kids go down, it's like we don't want to play a fucking board game. We want to lay on the couch on
And
our
be
phones.
lazy. I
and
know
be
the times have
lazy.
changed.
Yeah.
But in the best way possible.
Totally,
But yeah, now
totally.
we're like, no, let's order Dairy Queen and
Yeah.
just sit and talk.
Yeah. So then we were like, we should totally have kids together.
Literally, we're like, when do you want to start a family?
Yeah.
I would love to go back on those first conversations.
I don't even remember.
Because I don't remember how it even came up, but I think we were kind of like, yeah, I kind of want to start trying. I think we're going to start trying next month. And you're like, yeah, I think we'll start trying to do it too. And like, we literally did.
So I like got
That
off
was it.
birth control, and you were way more accurate of like tracking your ovulation,
Yeah,
where I
I
was just
was.
kind of like on an app fucking around. And then you got pregnant, and I was like, oh, I should probably try. So I started the temperature method.
Yeah.
And then literally you and I were the first people we called.
Yep.
Like you were the first person I called where I was like, holy shit.
And we're like, it
Look at this.
worked.
Yeah. So I was sitting, David was out with the girls in the kitchen eating breakfast, and I literally closed the toilet door and I called you and I sent you a photo because I peed in a cup and like dipped it.
Yeah.
And yeah, you were the same. You literally told me you were pregnant just a couple weeks before. And
Yep.
both of our kids, so both sets of our kids are exactly 20 days apart.
Yep.
So Callie, and what's crazy is our birth stories are also so similar,
Yeah,
which
it
is
is crazy.
wild to me. But so we obviously were extremely close, like our whole pregnancies, and we were still living in San Diego. We didn't move back to Arizona until Ziggy was 10 months old. So they would come out probably once a month to
Yeah.
come see us. Like
Yeah.
there's pictures and videos of us paddleboarding with these fucking giant ass
We were
bellies.
super pregnant.
Oh yeah, so pregnant. And remember, the boys would be up like getting so drunk and be like, "Can you make us mac and cheese when we're pregnant?" Like, fuck you, make your
Yeah,
own
yeah.
mac and cheese. Like, I'm growing your fucking baby. So this whole time that we're pregnant, we're like, there's no other option. We will be giving birth naturally.
Yeah.
No epidurals. Fuck the drugs.
We are gonna do this thing.
Oh god, we
are
were
women.
so fucking dumb. So Ashley went into labor naturally, and I remember I was like, "Okay, we're like, you're good. We're sticking to the birth plan, whatever." And then I tried to stay up, and I remember I dozed off like 2 or 3 a.m. and I got a photo of you at like 3:30 or something.
Yeah.
And it was, I can't stop fucking puking. I got the epidural.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we were just like racked out.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, if she can't do it, there's no fucking way I'm gonna be able to do it. And then go ahead with the rest of your birth story, because it's
Yeah,
nuts.
I just was in labor for literally forever.
Over 40 hours.
Yeah, I think total from the time I like started contractions to getting my C-section, because spoiler alert, I got a
Yeah.
C-section with all the drugs.
Spoiler alert. Yeah.
It was like 46 hours, and so I like really didn't enjoy Callie's birth that much, because it was like, it wasn't traumatic in the sense that I was worried about like losing her or like bleeding a lot or anything like that. It was just traumatic in the sense that it was forever.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't, I never really thought I'd have a C-section, which is dumb of me. Not really, just whatever. You know, you don't plan for having a C-section, but I wish I would have at least put that thought in my head of like that being a possibility.
Yeah.
And then maybe I wouldn't have felt as like disappointed with
Yeah.
it. But I mean, it is what it is. She's here, I'm here. And then Crew's birth, my
Yeah.
second baby, was super healing for
Yeah.
me, and being able to do a planned C-section, I
Totally.
could enjoy.
Totally.
Yeah, so
Well, and what's crazy is you were almost fully dilated, ready to push, but they didn't realize until Callie was born via C-section, the cord was wrapped around her neck twice.
yeah, so it's like a
she was
blessing. and
being like pulled back almost.
yeah, they said she wasn't able to like descend
Yeah.
well enough, and if she would have, it would have been probably a little more dangerous because of the cord being wrapped
Yeah.
around. But yeah, it ended up all working out in that sense. And then,
But I remember finding out that you got your C-section, and I was like, oh my fucking God. Because first it was like, okay, Zofran's not doing anything. I cannot stop puking. I'm in so much pain. Got the epidural. And you were so far dilated, too.
Yeah, it just
But
seemed-
you were like so nauseous.
I was so nauseous. I'm a puking person. I've just learned that.
Yeah,
like if I
same.
feel sick, I'm just gonna puke,
Yep.
and I don't have any fear of it. I'd rather
Yep.
go like throw it up than try to hold it down.
Yep.
That's probably TMI. But yeah, like all throughout my pregnancies was really sick. So like when I was sick in labor, I was like, of course, why wouldn't I just like throw
Yeah.
up my entire labor?
Yeah. So that happened. And then I remember telling David, like, oh, fuck, this is going to be harder than I thought. So Callie was born, which Callie was a really difficult baby.
Yeah, yeah, she was.
It's
Thanks,
honestly
Callie.
just her fucking personality. Cheeks, I love you as much as my own children, but God, you were the hardest kid ever.
She was crazy.
But then I ended up having to get induced because I got induced at 39 weeks because Ziggy's head circumference was measuring so large. And because of David's height and his birth weight, they were like, let's try to induce you, because they were doing a weekly anatomy scans. And they're like, if you want to even try vaginal, there's no way this kid's fitting out of you. So as you know, I got induced, and then I had almost the same thing where I didn't progress as far. I only dilated to a 2, but he started going bradycardic, and it was like 42 hours, I think, total.
Yeah, yours was super
And it was
long,
the
too.
same shit. And they
Yeah.
were like, it's already been almost 2 days. You're only dilating to a 2, and he's in distress. So we're just doing a C-section. So sure enough, and I'm like retching on the table
Ugh.
when they were cutting me open, because I was like, oh God, I see what she means now.
Yeah.
And then he was born, and they were exactly 20 days apart. And then when... Was Callie 6 weeks old when you guys drove back to San Diego?
Yeah, because she was 6 weeks old because she just got her tongue tie
Oh,
done.
yeah.
And she was a naughty baby.
Oh,
and
she
Ziggy
was-
was 3 weeks. That's their first
Yeah.
photos together. Ziggy's
Yeah.
like 20 days old and Callie's like 6 weeks old.
And they're in there. We would put them in these little sleep sacks so we could just pull it up at night to do diaper changes. And I remember it was so funny because we would be up all night texting for months.
Oh gosh,
like
making
literally
Amazon purchases.
We would send each other Amazon links. I'd be in my fucking
How's it going?
recliner in the living room, and we'd be checking in with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And FaceTime wasn't really that big then, so we were just kind of texting.
Yeah.
But like, you were like my 3 a.m. go-to.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, bitch, you up? You're like, yep.
It was honestly, postpartum is so hard.
Oh,
just
yeah.
in general, like for everyone out there, I always say like number one advice, plan for your birth, but like plan for your postpartum.
100%.
Because that's just a difficult time for women, or at least for me, and I know for you.
Oh, for sure.
But to have like that support,
Mm-hmm.
it was like we were commiserating together. Like this is really hard, but like we were surviving it, and we
Yeah.
were like, things get better, right? Like
Yeah.
they get better, and you get through it. And it was some of our best memories are from those first days,
sure.
like waking up in the middle of the night to like come bring my breast milk out, and
Yeah.
he's like feeding Ziggy on your like recliner, and I'd be like, hi. And
I
you're
know we used to like
"Hi."
one where I'm like, hey,
And I'm like, bye, I'm going
God,
back
you're
to
so
bed.
fucking tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a little picture of Callie and Ziggy, so tiny. Yeah. Just like 6 and 3 weeks old, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And in their little sleep sacks. And Callie's like eating his head.
Yeah. Yeah.
But those trips kept on going until Ziggy, right before he turned 10 months, Dave and I were so lonely. We're like, we had no friends, no family. I was stuck on night shift. And if you've ever worked as a nurse in California, you know you're stuck on nights for years and years and years. Mm-hmm. And then David had a really far commute. So we were like, we're either going to move to where he's working, but then I would have to commute and still be on night shift.
Yep.
Or move back to Arizona. And you guys pretty much are the reason we moved back. We're like,
Yeah.
we just have to go back. So we ended up buying a house in the same neighborhood that you guys decided to build in before your house was built. And then that was it. And literally we were together like 3 to 5 days a week.
I know. Now we're like, we just should. Now we need like a cul-de-sac.
Yeah, we need like a combined house.
A combined house. We can raise our kids together because our kids, they love each other, but they fight like their siblings. Oh my God, it's so bad. They don't do it with any other friends in our lives that have kids. But man, when they're together, it's like
they'll beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, one of them's constantly coming out complaining. We're like, go to the playroom.
Yeah, go
figure it out.
But when the kids first started talking, Callie and Ziggy, I remember we were all sitting at lunch and we're like, so are we all going to call each other auntie and uncle?
Yeah.
We're like, yeah. So Ash has been the auntie to my kids since they were born and vice versa. But we like... I don't think people realize that we really are like a big family because like if anything happens to you guys, I take your kids and vice versa. Because I'm like, your parents get to an age where like my parents are older, so my dad's gonna be 70 soon. And I'm like, God forbid anything happens, my kids look at you guys as family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
vice versa.
They've just always been involved in each other's lives and like literally been siblings.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just so fun and special because we're together all the time. But then, also I left out the fact that when we moved back to Arizona, David went back to his previous department, which is where Jesse works.
Yep.
So they worked for the same department. And then when I got my day shift position in PICU, it's at the same hospital you work at, but the pediatric side.
Yep.
So we're literally just like mirroring each other's lives.
Yeah, we'd like send each other notes in the tube station.
Oh yeah, and snacks. Or like if we would I would ever walk over there, like we meet in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's crazy to think about.
Remember the time we like filmed a TikTok in the parking lot before work at like 6:20 in the morning, and we're like, people probably think, who the heck are these nurses?
Yeah, and people were like,
losers.
Where's their stethoscope in the parking lot? Me, because I wanted attention and it worked.
Yeah.
So
seriously.
Yeah, and then we would call each other after our shifts because then we'd bitch to each other about what happened.
Oh my gosh, I know. Well, then we planned our second babies together.
During the pandemic.
During the pandemic.
Pregnant.
How did that even...
Ashley worked in like the adult COVID ICU though. So like I can't even complain about working during the pandemic because Ashley was fucking waddling around.
Oh my gosh.
Literally,
those
by the way,
some good times.
Crew was born 10 pounds 1 ounce a week early.
Yeah.
The fuck? Like
you're telling me.
Literally fucking crazy. And you were all belly. I remember when that child was born, I was like, he looks like he looks like the caterpillar from Bug's Life.
Yeah.
He was so rolly sucking on your tit. That was the first video I got.
I know his arms are so big. His face is like so squishy.
God.
I know. I was so that's, I had the unplanned C-section with Callie. And so for Crew, I was torn between VBAC C-section and you were pretty much C-section from the get-go. You're like, schedule C-section.
I was like, I'll never fucking do that again.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know. I really felt like I needed this redemption. And I know that sounds silly, but I know a lot of women still feel that way. It's like I didn't get a vaginal birth and I really wanted the opportunity. Yeah. So up until like I even went in, I was like, well, I'll just schedule my C-section for 39 weeks. Crew is measuring big, obviously, now that we know. And so I was like, well, let me just schedule it for 39 weeks. If I go into labor prior, I'll just maybe give a VBAC a shot. Yeah. And then if I get to 39 weeks, I'll just get a C-section. Yeah. I guess that's what it's going to be. And so obviously didn't go into labor, went in for my 39-week C-section. I'm like doing the pre-op stuff. And I remember telling Jesse, like, I think I could go another couple weeks if I really needed to. I wasn't like that miserable. Mm-hmm. Like I was uncomfortable and I was like, okay, I'm glad to be giving birth, but I wasn't like, I'm done. Yeah. And so did the C-section. When they said he was 10-1, I was like, there's a reason I got a
You would have had a 12-pound baby that would never fit out of you. If
he would have made one giant hole.
Literally, it would be fucking crazy. Well, it's funny too because I remember when you guys were like, yeah, I think we're going to start trying. And you got your IUD out. Dave and I were like, oh God, I don't think we're ready.
Yeah, you guys weren't.
We weren't ready. But then my IUD got embedded in my uterus.
Yeah, the same time I was like getting mine out to get pregnant.
So she ripped it out and I was like, we're thinking about waiting like maybe 4 or 5 more months. Like have closer to a 3-year age gap. And she's like, well, I'm not putting another IUD in. And then you guys got pregnant and David was kind of like, well, and I could have had a baby whenever, but David was more like, I want to wait. Mm-hmm. And plus, since he had a boy, he was like, I don't know if I want another one. But then you got pregnant. I think he was like, no, I want to do this again with them.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
we were so lucky where we did. And our kids' second set crew is exactly 20 days older than Stevie.
Just like Callie and Ziggy.
Which is fucking crazy.
It's like a fairy tale.
It
It's
really
like, when I
is.
tell this story, it's like the stuff that you see in movies, kind
Yeah.
of. And it
Yeah.
feels like, no, this is our real life.
And people are like, no, like exactly 20 days. I'm
Yeah.
like, exactly 20 days.
Yeah, because the first I went overdue, had my unplanned C-section. You had the induction, got a C-section.
Yep.
So we didn't really have control over that 20-day thing.
Yeah.
But then the next round, the fact that our cycles were exactly like that 20-day
Yep.
lapse or whatever, we got our due dates and we're like, wait. I remember like calculating our due dates. We're like, wait, that's fucking 20 days apart. Like,
we were freaking out.
So then we're like, I wonder if our C-sections are going to get scheduled or like our dates. Because, I didn't know if I was doing the VBAC or the C-section.
Yeah.
But I was like, what if we like schedule them at the same time?
Yeah.
And we did surprise genders.
Oh,
So
yeah. That was
another
one
big
thing we decided together, too, because we
Yeah.
talked about that
Before we even got pregnant.
Yeah, like when the kids were little, I think because it was both of our first babies, we just wanted to know.
Yeah.
Oh, and I love that story, too, because we did the Adkins gender reveal at our San Diego house.
I know. We have that video and everything.
And I
It's
remember
cute.
walking through Target with you guys and getting the email
Yeah,
and
'cause we
seeing
did
it
that.
was a girl. And I was like, oh my God, because Jesse and Ashley have all boys on both sides of their
Yep,
families. Like
3 boys
it's
and 3 brothers for Jesse.
all brothers for both of them. And so Ashley was like the only girl. And so, especially for Jesse's mom, Mimi, like she wanted a girl so bad.
So bad.
So when Dave and I saw it was a girl, we're like, oh my God, they're going to just flip out.
Yeah.
So I still have the video.
I know.
It was a balloon, right?
It was a
that
big
popped?
balloon. You
Yeah.
guys went and got it.
Oh, Bob
remember
and
'cause-
Mary got our next door neighbors. Didn't they get it for us?
I don't remember, but I just remember David's laugh in that video.
Oh, yeah.
He gets so mad.
You're
when
doing
he
so
did it.
good. David
It's his
has
genuine
I
laugh,
know.
though.
David has like if someone like really makes him belly laugh, he has this laugh that he does and he hates it so much, but Ashley does the best impression.
Yeah.
Please do it.
He's gonna be so mad that's in there.
Literally watch this like unsubscribe. Fuck you, Cheers podcast.
Whenever he laughs and does that, I always copy him, and then he starts laughing more and like getting mad about it because.
But I love it because like if I make him laugh like that, I'm like, oh, you think I'm funny? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so yeah, then we had our second set of little fuckers who who were also born 20 days apart.
Yeah.
And they're even worse than the first ones, honestly.
I just feel like it's so funny to see our parenting evolve from like our first babies and all like we're so worried and concerned and everything, and now we're
Now I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you do.
just-
Go eat raw spaghetti for lunch. Just ask if I fucking care.
Yeah. You want 6 yogis? Here you go.
Yeah,
Here's your
for
6
real.
yogurt
You want a
today.
knack?
Yeah.
A knack.
We sound like such bad parents.
I
but
know. Callie's been saying, I want a knack instead of
Yeah.
a snack. And she was like, by the way, you think she's smart? Her fucking kid? Goddamn. Callie is, let me tell you, that's my girl right there. Like, Ziggy was obviously a boy. So when Callie was born, I was like, you're 50% my genetics.
You like did her hair.
You
and
know,
everything.
I fucking love that child. I mean, goddamn. Anyways, so leave it to my son. Wants to use a binky till he's 12. Took his first step at 42. Didn't say a damn word till he was fucking 7. Like, literally, so just chose everything on his own time, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
Typical for a boy. Callie, she sent me a fucking video and she was 8 months old taking her first steps. I said, the fuck? My kid can't even roll over yet. They're 20 days apart.
But it's so funny because it's literally still them today. And Ziggy's obviously like, they're both on track for like their schooling and stuff, but their personalities, Ziggy's much more not passive in a bad way, just like
he's content.
He's content.
He doesn't care. Yeah.
He's easygoing. He's more relaxed and laid back.
Yeah.
And Callie's like whipping him into shape.
Yeah,
and
well,
he
makes
just like does everything.
Yeah, she made a video when Callie was 1 of her saying like over 100 words, and I was like, cool. My kid hasn't even said mama yet. So Callie and her personality, so like she will be doing some major shit with her life. Like she'll be the first female president or something. But yeah, and then it was funny because she had been walking for pretty much all of her life. And we decided when they were 1 to start doing our yearly Destin trip. So every year we go to Destin every summer with all of our families.
Yep.
And it's been four summers that we've done that, right?
Yeah, because the first time we went, Ziggy was 17 months and
Yeah.
Callie was 18
Yep.
months. And that's when he first started walking.
So he was
there.
like, no, I'm going to start walking on the sand, which is like
Yeah.
the most difficult place to walk. And he just started walking. I was like, okay, cool. So
Yeah.
we were going to
No,
literally.
literally, that's exactly how it went.
Yes. And we were going to put him in PT. Our pediatrician was like, if you guys don't see him improving, like wanting to walk when you get back from your trip, like we do have to start physical therapy. And I was like, fuck. But then on the sand, he's like, nah, I'm going to start walking.
Yeah, he's like, it's a good time. I was waiting for
Yeah.
a legit moment.
Yeah,
like, where we're on
100%.
vacation.
And then, I mean, you also had a redemption moment with newborn phase because Crew was such a good baby.
He was. We basically flip-flopped.
We flopped genders.
Flopped, yeah.
So I got the video, Crew was a boy, and then we called you. We called you before my parents knew the gender of my kids.
Yeah,
Sorry,
no,
Mom.
No, same.
And we called you when I was in PACU, and we're like,
Yeah.
it's a girl. And we swapped genders, which was crazy.
Yep.
But then I got the Callie baby version, and Crew was like Ziggy, so chill, such a good boy.
Yep. It's funny because I used to remember like thinking in my head because Ziggy was so easy compared to Callie.
Yeah.
I was like, what is wrong with her? I literally thought something was wrong with her or me.
Yeah.
But like our second babies, we flip-flopped and like we're both just so much more relaxed.
You're probably
with them
like, have fun, fucker, bitch.
Yeah, I'm like, good luck. I'm sorry that I started with my difficult ones. Sorry.
Oh my God, I'm texting you and you text me like, sorry, I was asleep. I was like, oh, really? Were you? Was it a good rest? I have you feel fucking rested right now.
Yeah, but it's, I know, I hate to like stereotype into genders, but like our females were just typical, like feisty, and our boys have been much more like chill.
Oh, and we swapped all our baby shit, which is fun because we gave each other all of our old baby clothes. Yeah, because we switched genders.
Yep, I remember I had everything all packed in a bag, like garbage bags, and I was like, well,
Gosh,
if I have
so
a girl,
fucking organized and had it together. Like my kid's 6 months old. I was like, oh, I guess you want these.
like I've been buying shit on Amazon. Can you give me your stuff? Damn it, you had a girl.
Oh my God. But now we're both, you officially decided you're done, right?
Oh yeah, we're done.
Well, there was a slight discussion.
Oh God, when?
Don't you remember how you were like,
oh, well, for a while I was kind of like wanting a third, like after having Crew, I was like, I don't know.
Which that really would be good luck to you because I would never.
Yeah, actually you're going to raise it half the time.
You know, I would do it. I 100% would. I'm like, I'll take night shift.
I actually feel like, okay, having a third kid would be hard, but like it might be easier because you wouldn't have another kid and your kids are older. So like I could like just
I can count on Auntie to help raise it.
I need to go hang out over there.
I'm dead. Yeah, I just think like
but no, we're done. I don't want to.
No.
The older Crew gets, and the more when I see these little newborns, I'm like, it's not for me.
No. And we have such a good routine down, and obviously each phase of their life has some sort of difficulty.
Yeah.
But now that life's like, we always talk about how now we call it family dinner, where at least once a week we'll like have dinner over here or over there, and we can like sit out by the fire and they're inside playing, like self-entertain themselves. And we're like, holy shit, when did this become our life?
I know, like we can actually sit and have a conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, not all the time, let's be honest. We're still not all the way there, but like we can get these moments where we're like, wow, they're getting bigger. Like this is like their whole childhood.
I know.
You know?
But it's fun now because they're starting to like remember things. And I love it because we'll just like blow up the big bounce house in the backyard and put the projector on, watch sports, do keg stands in between while the kids play. Just normal mom shit, you know?
Yeah, you know, just typical stuff.
Well, that's actually a funny story because before it was like my boobs were scheduled, I think, to get done.
Yeah, it was like a couple weeks after because of the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, last year's Super Bowl. And I was a loser in college. I didn't do anything, so I never did a keg stand or anything. And so they got keg stands, and I was like, it's not called a keg stand, is it? It's called a keg?
It's just a keg, yeah.
Oh, shit.
You do a keg stand on the keg.
Okay, so they got kegs, and I was like, I want to do a keg stand. And so, listen, my tits were sagging down at my waist, so I wasn't wearing a bra. No one could tell. And I was in like this Nike sweat set, and I was like, hold my legs, hold me. I'm like fucking just ready to go. And I do a full keg stand, and someone's holding my legs.
I'm holding one side, someone else is holding the other.
Yeah, but my sweatshirt was like drooping down like this, and someone got a video.
Yeah.
And it's literally looks like boulders and tube socks. Just there's a 7-inch gap between those fuckers. They were swinging high and low. Like, I don't even know how to describe it, but they were just it looked like Squidward's testicles or something. I don't even know.
Like his nose.
His nose. Yeah.
Have you ever seen Squidward's testicles?
No, I just imagine them really saggy.
They probably are because his nose is really saggy.
Okay, so it was like two Squidward noses next to each other, but like a gap this wide apart. And it was one of the scariest things I've ever seen. And you were a G and you held up.
I did. I realized what was happening, so I lifted it up.
But I saw that video and I was like, give me silicone yesterday.
Yeah, you're like, thank God my boobs are scheduled.
No, for real. That was the best money I've ever spent, but that was absolutely terrifying. But can you imagine, like, if Ziggy and Callie were just looking, like, what the fuck are they doing? Yeah. Like, mom's upside down doing a keg stand again.
Yeah, well, then they're like, I'll do it. I want to do it.
We're like, no. Ziggy wanted to, like, pump the beer thing on the Super Bowl, and I was like, cool.
Yeah. They're going to grow up very well-rounded children, okay?
Yeah, but honestly, they see, like, so much normal in our lives that, like, the outside noise or, like, influences that will come into their ear at school, I'm not as worried about because they're not so sheltered that they're going to be so curious.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And, like, I talked to a lot of my friends that grew up in super religious households that they're like, if my life was like that, I wouldn't have rebelled against my parents.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're doing them a benefit.
Yeah, and with our careers, I feel like we're both exposed to a lot of different things. Like with David's career, Jesse's career, yours and I's, like we just see a lot of things, and so we're gonna prepare our kids the best we can. Yeah, you know, with that type of stuff. And so I don't know. I feel like I grew up really sheltered, and not in like a bad sense, but when I became a nurse, I was like, holy shit.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Like, what is going on in the world? Like, I didn't even realize that these people could be so sick or in these living conditions, and people could struggle so much. Yeah. And that's very like a sheltered thing for me. And my parents were great parents. They were just, you know, I just grew up that way. But I'm like, I do want my kids to have a better understanding of like what's going on a little bit in the world to like an appropriate level. I don't want them like going to bed having anxiety over stuff that's out of their control. But like, there's different type of people, and we can love and respect all different types of people and just be more open-minded and stuff in general.
And I think that was kind of the same with when I worked in peds, was I would get these teenagers and hearing about their life and like why they would want to take their own life or why they were partying or why they were rebelling against their parents, whatever the case may be. I always try to think about stories like that of like how I could be better for my kids so that they don't ever get to that point, because a lot of issues that these kids had where they didn't feel comfortable coming to their parents about certain things that were happening or how they felt or pressures that they were feeling or wanting to cave into. Whereas I think we're so good about being understanding and non-judgmental. Yep. Because if I had that growing up, I also feel like my life would have been different, you know, but I didn't have anyone to go to. And I also love that our kids have each other to go to.
Oh, yeah. Well, and like you and me, like they'll say things to us.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Your older girls will come say stuff to Jesse and I.
Yeah.
And it's so like fun and cute that they're like they look at us like confide in and stuff.
Because they're like, you're not my mom or my dad, so I'm going to talk to you. And it's so interesting because David and I still are like so open, and they know that they don't get in trouble and they talk to us about stuff. But it's just different.
It's different when it's your parents. Yep.
It's so different. So I love that Ziggy and Stevie and my oldest two can go to you guys and your kids can go to me. Yep. And of course we talk to each other about it, but like they don't need to know that. You know.
Just so we can all be on the same page.
Yeah, Callie will 100% be calling me to pick her up from a party when she's like
100%. 100%. We're so screwed.
She is her father's daughter.
She is her father's daughter.
Okay, last few things I want to ask. What's your favorite memory of our relationship?
Oh gosh. I had to pick one specific thing.
I mean, if I've made that much of an impact, you can totally pick more than one.
Okay. I mean, honestly, it's so much. I think being moms together has been probably my most favorite, like just in any regard, like when we take the kids to the park, when we go to the stores, like we'll go run errands, whatever little things it is. It's like I just feel so good knowing that like this is their childhood that we're giving them, and they're gonna grow up and like have these memories, and like how special it is for our kids to grow up like this. But then just having like each other during the best and worst times. Like I can genuinely say you guys know everything about us, our struggles, the good, the bad, and to have that friendship that's always been open and not judgmental has been, I mean, I think like soulmates can come in all different forms, but you're my soulmate, friend, sister, like whatever you want to call it. But I think if I have to pick specific stuff, it's just anything around being moms to our kids, because we've just connected so much on that. But then like when we're not with our kids, we also have a lot of fun.
Oh,
and I feel
totally.
like when you become a parent, you start to have friends that you can only hang out with no kids. You have your friends that you only hang out with all the kids. And then you have like our friendship where we're like, we can go leave the kids and have an awesome time. And we can also like all enjoy each other's company when the kids are around.
Yeah,
like
100%.
They mesh into our lives very well.
Well, I say to people all the time, I mean, David and I feel you guys are the only people we will ever be our full, true, authentic self with, because you guys have watched so many things change in our life, and you've been the only like consistency for us. And that keeps me very grounded and humble, but also realize the importance of like, I feel like so many people will DM me on a weekly basis like, are you and Ashley still best friends? And I'm like, yes, but it's not a public internet thing. Like that's our family. So like when we're over there, I'm not filming content. I'm not really taking photos. I put my phone down. Like that is our family time. That's so sacred. But I don't think I would survive motherhood without you. I don't think I would survive even my coming into the ICU when I first started working like in PICU, when, I mean, all my pregnancies, now my job with how much criticism I get, you know, being able to have you guys as like our home base, because you've seen all those parts of me and been the only one that's stayed, you know?
Well, and social media makes everything, social media is wonderful and terrible at the same time. And people have opinions on everything, but it's been hard as a friend to see how much people are just so like hard on you right now, and knowing like who you are as a person during social media, before social media, who you're going to be after. Like it's sad to see people create an idea of you that's not even like true.
Well, and but that's for all those thousands of people that say things though, that's all that matters to me, is like the people that actually know me and love me, or my family, my kids. All that matters is what they see and what they know. Other people's opinions are their problem. Yeah. And it's just
it's annoying.
Yeah. I'm like, fuck the haters. But was that we were at Buck and Ryder. Yeah. We were on our little date, and that waitress stopped me and said she followed me, and she was so cute, and I gave her a hug, and she was like, yeah, fuck the haters. And I was like, you know what? I like you. Yeah. I said, thank you so much for that. That was so sweet of her. That was sweet. And I was like, I should just get that tattooed right on my arm. Fuck the haters.
Just do FTH.
We should get matching tattoos.
We should.
We should do that for a podcast episode. Get tatted while we're on the podcast.
That would be cool.
That would be
get your girl over here.
So badass.
We should just do an A.
Yeah, we should. I was thinking like, where do you think? On the neck? On your butt.
On your neck. I like how you go to the extreme. Like, okay, I have 2 tattoos. You have like 900. You're like, oh, let's do the neck. That's for sure where we need to get this.
I remember when you and Jesse were on your honeymoon, and you got the fattest tattoo of your wedding day on your rib cage, and I was like, who is this bitch?
I know.
Because you were like so innocent and naive, and I was like, not her getting a rib tattoo on. Whoa, I almost just fell back in the chair on her honeymoon. All right, well, on that note, apparently this Blue Lagoon made me drunk. Well, thanks for being on. Cheers.
Thanks.
You did such a good job, Cody.
Thank you.
You
did
just chilling. Yeah, you really did.
Oh, that's good.
We should do a part 2. That would be really fun.
Okay.
But we should do it when we're drunk. We should do like a drunk one.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay,
I'm just
kidding.
kidding.
I'll text you in 5 minutes.
Okay, cheers. Thanks for being here.
Cheers. Thanks, Cody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.